Hey everybody, Sean Yesner here, owner, founder of Yesner Law, host of the Crushing Debt podcast. If you're watching this live, let me be one of the first to say Happy New Year, although today is December 31, and so a lot of people have probably already said Happy New Year, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to 2020 ending and 2021 starting, and so if you have whether 2020 has been good or bad or otherwise for you, I hope that you have a happy new year and that we all go into 2021 and make the improvements that we want to make and make the change that we want to make and do some really great things in 2021. But I wanted to continue with the video series that I've been doing on and off based on certain blogs that I've written. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about was foreclosure sales. Now, I've had a bunch of clients call me recently. They bought property at a foreclosure sale and they've got it at a steal. So they paid $20,000, $30,000, and this property is worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they think they've made away like a bandit. The problem is they've bought at the association foreclosure sale, the homeowner association, the condo association foreclosure sale, or maybe excuse me, maybe they bought at a judgment lien foreclosure or a construction lien foreclosure. Now, those types of foreclosure sales give the buyer good title to the property. So the buyer owns the property. And typically under Florida law, 10 days after the foreclosure sale, if nobody's filed any objections, the clerk of the court will issue the title, and that title is good title. The buyer owns the property at that point. And if the former owner is still in the property, they can be evicted, just like anybody else that takes title at any kind of foreclosure sale. But here's the problem. If someone buys at an association foreclosure sale, condo homeowner association, construction lien foreclosure sale, judgment lien foreclosure sale, something like that, they take the property subject to the first mortgage that is on the property. Sometimes they take title subject to the second mortgage that's on the property. If there are any unpaid property taxes, those also have to be paid in order for the buyer at the foreclosure sale to really get free and clear title. And so this is the way it works. The foreclosure bidder will pay like $30,000. They've got a property now worth $200,000, but there's a $175,000 first, there's 10 grand in property taxes, and there's a $25,000 second. Well, now, after adding that $30,000 bid price at the foreclosure sale, that foreclosure winning bidder owns the property upside down from the day they buy it. And so a lot of times they call me and they say, well, what can we do? Well, unfortunately, Florida law says that foreclosure sales are buyer beware. So the first thing that I would tell any foreclosure investor to do is hook up with a good title company. I can recommend a few. Hook up with a good attorney and order the title and review the title before the sale. It might cost you $200, $300, whatever, $500, whatever, to review the title of the property. But then if you know you're bidding at the association's foreclosure sale and there's all these other liens potentially ahead of you, now you've wasted $500 instead of $30,000. Plus, what are you going to have to put into the property to get it to a place where you could rent it? What are you going to have to put into the property to get to a place where you can live in it? Are there people that you have to evict? Are there squatters there? Is the borrower from the previous, the borrower that originally owned the home, are they still there? So you can avoid all these issues simply by doing a title search. But if you decided not to do a title search, or you've bought a piece of property at association foreclosure sale and now you see this first mortgage ahead of you, what can you do? Well, maybe you can negotiate with the first mortgage. And the reason that I say maybe is because the bank's not going to talk to you because you're not the bank's borrower. Now, Florida law does allow any owner of the property, regardless of how they acquire title, to order a payoff from the bank. And sometimes we have to send a pretty nasty letter to the bank, fighting with the bank, explaining to the bank why they have to give us the payoff to the property. But that's really all you're entitled to, is a payoff. Now, some people say, well, can I negotiate with the bank on the first mortgage? Possibly. But again, you're not the borrower. So the bank won't talk to you. They will typically only give you the payoff, a full payoff, and that's it. So really, if there's a a seller financed investor, an IRA investor, some private individual that owns that first mortgage, you probably have a better chance of negotiating. If it's one of the big banks, Regions, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, one of those guys, chances are you're not going to be able to negotiate the value of that first mortgage down to the point where you can pay it off. And then again, you have to pay it off. So that is one option, but it's not a very good option. Another option you can do, depending on how much you've spent, you can put a tenant into that property. So let's say you paid 10 grand for this association property in foreclosure. Well, you could charge, let's say, 2 grand a month, and within 5 months, you've made back your 10 grand investment. Now, the problem there is you've got to also check to see what is the timeline of the foreclosure, of the bank's foreclosure. Have they filed one? Where are they in that process? If they're right at the beginning of the process, chances are you've got plenty of months, assuming those numbers work, you've got plenty of months to rent out the property and recoup your investment until the bank forecloses and takes it away. Maybe there are some defenses you can insert into the foreclosure case. Now, interestingly, what Florida law says is that you cannot insert yourself into the foreclosure if the bank's foreclosure has already been filed. But if the bank has not filed a foreclosure yet, you would be listed as a defendant, and then you can defend the bank's foreclosure, potentially even negotiate with the bank. Now, you will not owe the bank any money. You did not sign the note with the bank. You did not sign the mortgage with the bank. The bank can foreclose and eliminate your lien rights in the property, but that's all they're going after. They're not trying to get money out of you as the foreclosure investor, but they will foreclose your interest if you own title, but they're not going after you for money. So that's another option. Some of the other options I've seen, maybe there's another investor out there that wants to buy the property. Maybe you can wholesale it. Maybe it does have some equity in it and you can sell it and pay everybody off and recoup some of that investment. You're not entitled to any surplus funds. Case law in Florida clearly states the purchaser at the foreclosure sale is not entitled to a return of surplus funds. And that sort of makes sense. I mean, if I'm going to bid $30,000 on a piece of property and outbid somebody that paid $20,000 or $25,000, and then I want to go seek some of that surplus funds back. Let's say the association's lien is $5,000 and there's $25,000 of surplus funds in the court registry. If I take that $25,000 back, that effectively makes my bid $5 grand. And the person that bid 20 or 25 grand, it's not fair to them. So that's another thing that you can do or can't do is you can't get surplus funds back from the foreclosure sale. But there are some other things you can do. So just remember, foreclosure sales are buyer beware. I think my best suggestion, if you're interested in buying foreclosure sale properties, I think my best suggestion is that you do that title search up front. You spend a couple of bucks up front, $100, $200, $300, whatever it is. You spend that money up front, you learn what it is you're buying, and then you can avoid making some of these $10,000, $20,000. I've seen as much as $45,000, $50,000 mistakes in bidding on association property. So that'll do it for this quick video. If you are buying property at foreclosure sale here in Florida and you want my help, certainly reach out. Let me know. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to order the title searches for you. I'm happy to review the title searches for you. And I know one of the title companies that I work with, Insured Title Agency, will even issue you a title insurance policy on properties that you've bought at foreclosure sale. So I can make that introduction for you. So if you have any questions, certainly let me know. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. I did recently post the Become Debt Free book on Kindle. So if you want to buy it, it's available on Kindle. If you want to look at the Become Debt Free book online, it's www.seanmyesner.com/become debt free. I hope that in 2021, everybody does become debt free. We do get rid of some of this debt that is bearing down on us. And with that, I will sign off for the year. Happy New Year. We'll see you all in 2021. Thanks.